What's going on, guys? GZTV here, back with another video and back with the movie review from the MCU. We did the Amazing Spider-Man yesterday. We're gonna do the sequel to it today, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. What I do is I go through the plot on Wikipedia, and then I let you guys know what I think of the movie. So, anyways. Here's the plot. Oscorp scientist Richard Parker records a video message to explain his disappearance. He and his wife Mary try to flee aboard a private jet that is hijacked by an assassin. So we can finally figure out what happened to Peter Parker's dad. The plane crashes, killing the couple. In present day, 2 years after his battle with Dr. Kirk Connors, Richard and Mary's son, Peter Parker, continues to fight crime as Spider-Man and apprehends criminal Alexei Saitsevich. Due to Peter's reservations about his relationships with girlfriend Gwen Stacy since making a vow to her late father to stay away from her, Gwen ends their relationship after their high school graduation. Peter's childhood friend Harry Osborn returns to Manhattan to see his terminally ill father, Norman, CEO of Oscorp. And if you guys know who Norman Osborn is, he is Green Goblin, and that foreshadows a little bit in the movie. The illness is genetic, and Harry is at the age where it first develops. Norman dies, and Harry is appointed the new CEO. While working in an Oscorp laboratory, electrical engineer Max Dillon shocks himself by accident and falls into a tank of genetically engineered electric eels. If you saw who's the actor of this, and you can connect it to the latest Spider-Man movie, you know exactly what he turns into. They attack him and he mutates into a living electric generator. Meanwhile, Gwen tells Peter that she may move to England if she earns a scholarship to Oxford University. Unaware of the extent of his power, Dylan wanders into Times Square, accidentally causing a blackout, and is stopped by Spider-Man. Dylan is taken to the Ravencroft Institute, where he is studied by German scientist Ashley Kafka. The first symptoms of Harry's illness are showing, and he uses information Norman gave him to deduce that Spider-Man's blood could save him. He asks Peter, who has been selling photos of Spider-Man to the Daily Bugle, to aid him in finding Spider-Man. Peter's unsure of what effects the transfusion would have and the possibility of Harry suffering a mutation similar to Dr. Kirk Connors. He later refuses Harry as Spider-Man, angering Harry. Oscorp Vice President Donald Mencken frames Harry for Dylan's accident, removes him as CEO, and takes control of Oscorp, which is stupid. Harry proposes a deal with Dylan, who now calls himself Electro, to get back inside the Oscorp building. Dylan agrees and kills Dr. Kafka. There, Harry finds the venom from the now destroyed genetically altered spiders. However, after he forces Mencken to inject him with the venom, it accelerates his illness and transforms him into the Green Goblin, but the built-in emergency protocol and Norman's suit of armor restores his health. Peter finds his father's secret lab in an abandoned subway station and learns that Richard had to flee because he refused to cooperate with Norman's plans to make biogenetic weapons with his research. Peter then discovers that Gwen was offered the Oxford scholarship. He professes his love for her, and they agree to go to England together. Electro causes another blackout. Together, Peter and Gwen restore power and overload Electro's body, killing him. Harry arrives equipped with Norman's weaponry. Upon seeing Gwen, he deduces Spider-Man's secret identity, and swearing revenge for being refused the blood transfusion, takes her to the top of a clock tower. Peter manages to subdue Harry, but Gwen falls down the tower. He catches her with a web, but it's too late. Gwen's head hits the ground, killing her instantly, which was very, very sad. A guilt-ridden Peter grows depressed and abandons his duties as Spider-Man. 5 months later, Harry is incarcerated at Ravencroft. His associate Gustav Fiers, the Gentleman, visits him, and the pair discusses Fierce, they call him actually, visits him, and the pair discusses forming their own team. Harry orders Fierce to start with Saitsevich, and Saitsevich is broken out of prison, equipped with a suit of armor. Saitsevich dubs himself the Rhino, which is actually a villain in the Spider-Man world, and rampages through the streets. Peter, inspired by Gwen's graduation speech, confronts him as Spider-Man. Really sad ending to the movie, and honestly, after watching this sequel, I can safely say this is the best Spider-Man series ever. I do still like Tobey Maguire better as a Spider-Man, but I think this is the best movie series that Spider-Man has ever had, and I definitely think it deserves a trilogy. I know it's been 7-8 years since the second film came out, but I think they should start working on an Amazing Spider-Man 3, especially because it would be a dope storyline. I don't even know, actually. Like, him finding Rhino, maybe Doc Ock is then there, maybe even introduce some new villains that haven't been put into film adaptations yet. I think that would be interesting. I was thinking about him and Gwen could go to England, but unfortunately Gwen is dead. That is unfortunate. If Gwen was still alive, they could go to England. That definitely opens up. If Gwen hadn't have died, I think The Amazing Spider-Man 3 would have been inevitable. But a really good movie. And the thing that Harry Osborn didn't understand is that the only people that will affect you can effectively use the blood transfusion of the venom from the spiders on is Richard Parker's bloodline, because you put his own DNA in there, and if you don't use it on his bloodline, you get mutated. And that's what happened to guys like Kurt Connors. That's what happened to Harry Osborn. Although Harry Osborn wasn't as serious, he just turned into like this old-looking dude, and he put the Goblin suit on. And again, the Norman Osborn showing up throughout the movie and dying shows that, or it kind of foreshadowed that Harry Osborn would have been a successor as Green Goblin. Compared to the first movie, I really liked this one because I've liked these villains a lot more, like Electro and Green Goblin. I wish Sandman would have been incorporated a little more into this series. I wish. Well, obviously, Doctor Strange didn't really exist in film adaptation at the time, but I don't want them. I don't know, because I don't want them to be copying all the other Spider-Man movies. I think it's cool to keep some originality in this one. So I guess it is cool to see only guys like Electro and Green Goblin and the Lizard. But I think the Rhino would definitely be a sick villain to have in the third Amazing Spider-Man. They could easily do that. None of the other Spider-Man movies have the Rhino as a villain, I don't believe. Maybe it's in the cartoons. I'm not really sure. But yeah, Andrew Garfield, like, I'm starting to like him more and more as Spider-Man. I obviously think Tobey Maguire is the best because he set the tone for all the Spider-Mans to come. You know, Bully McGuire, he had such a personality, such a, like, petty. I like the heroes that are, like, petty as fuck, like, bogus as hell. I like the heroes like that like kind of play games with people, like Deadpool. I think that's cool. And that's what makes Tobey Maguire the best. But Andrew Garfield, like, I think he's better than Tom Holland. I mean, I can say that. He's a great dude, you know. He's a good actor. He's been in plenty of movies in the past. I mean, the man pulled Emma Stone. That's fire. You know what I'm saying? Tom Holland had Zendaya. I'm not sure what Tobey Maguire had. Tobey Maguire could not pull girls to save his life. But I think that's what made him the best Spider-Man, is because he pulled off that role the best, I guess. That's the movie. I don't have too much else to say. It's a fun film. It's got a great backstory again. You know, now they're taking the time, even though the movie is super long, they're finally taking the time to kind of explain what happened to Peter Parker's dad. You know, he was on a plane with his data, he was flying away, and the private jet crew kind of hijacked him in a way and kind of betrayed him, and the guy tried to kill him. It obviously worked in the end because the plane crashed, but he died before them. R.I.P. Richard Parker. I mean, Peter Parker's lost so much, and it gives him such motivation to continue to be this hero. Shout out to our viewer. Um, all these losses in his family have definitely inspired him to be a hero, and I think that's a really cool story. You know, some of the heroes like come up in like rich families and stuff, but I think it's cool to see a guy that comes from humble beginnings like Spider-Man. Yeah, that's really all. Later tonight we have New Music Friday. I'm not sure what's dropping this week actually. I'm hoping something good drops to end the year. But tomorrow. I'm gonna be formulating my top 50 albums of the year list. Tonight I'm actually watching Spider-Man: Far From Home, and I'll have a review out for that tomorrow. Um, yeah, tomorrow we'll have that review, and then some more music listening. And then Saturday, I think I'm watching Slenderman tomorrow. I don't know if that's a good movie or not, but I just found it on YouTube TV, so I'm gonna watch it. Saturday, we're gonna do a review of that movie. Then we're gonna do the top 50 albums of the year list. Sunday, I'll have some sort of review out and a Marvel Avengers gameplay. Thanks for the viewer, by the way. We're getting to the end of the video. Everyone pops up at the end of the video. I think it's because these videos, I'm live streaming this, so it takes a while for these videos to resonate and get on in the algorithm and for people to see it. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I don't have anything else to say. Hopefully you enjoyed the movie. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. As always, it has been GZTV with another MCU review. Gotta love it. I love the MCU. I'm falling in love with it. I'm watching more and more movies from it. There's a lot more movies for me to watch. You know, Black Widow, Eternals, all sorts of stuff. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Pretty much everything. So, Leave a like, comment, subscribe, suggest me to a friend, do whatever. Stay tuned tonight if you're a music fan because we got New Music Friday. So peace.